From deep in the Burbank Media District, it's time for another edition of My Burbank Talks, presented by the staff of My Burbank. Now, let's see what's on today's agenda as we join our program.
Hi, my Burbank reporter Ashley Erikson here with another episode of Women of Burbank, and I am here with my friend Jessica Cribbs, who is the creator and publisher of BurbankMom.com. She's a freelance writer and producer who has written and directed a documentary, produced live theater, directed 5K races, and been a prominent member of her community where she's raised her 3 kids. Welcome, Jessica.
Thanks, Ashley.
This is how we normally converse, just without all of this stuff. But we sit at a little table usually in your home and we chat. And you and I have been friends for so long. I don't think you even know how we met. We've been asked that, I feel like, a few times. And I can't remember how we first got connected.
I think when the Banshee Theater was the Banshee Theater on Magnolia, there was one night we had Holiday in the Park and I was doing Expressing Motherhood. And you were pregnant.
So that was a really long time ago.
And you were walking by, and we had already connected online, but hadn't met in person, and we just right there.
You remember that? That's amazing. I've been like racking my brain. Where was the first moment? And I couldn't, because I just remember you like in my life for so long, and I just can't.
I know.
You know, and we have connected just over the years, you know, on religion and family values and just so many things. Like we just get each other, our crazy minds where we come up with these grand ideas because we're creatives. And so you've kind of been like my mentor over these years. But Burbank has been your home for a very long time.
Yeah, we've been here for 22 years.
That's a really long time. But you didn't grow up in Burbank.
No.
Where did you grow up, and what brought you to Burbank so long ago?
Well, I grew up in a tiny little town in southeastern Michigan called Petersburg. It's between Toledo, Ohio, and Ann Arbor. And I graduated with 63 people in high school. It's a very small town.
It's very small.
Very small town. And I knew I always wanted to be, I don't know, in entertainment somehow. And I didn't realize until I got to college what that could mean and made my way to LA. I wanted to be an actress like most people, but I quickly discovered that acting was not exactly what I wanted to do. I just knew I wanted to be in entertainment. And it's kind of, I'm a writer-producer by nature. I think that's people, storytelling, writing, producing is what I do. So that's why I'm here.
And so your kids were all born here, so they've grown up in Burbank.
Yeah.
And so you created this website, which is pretty much a stapled brand in Burbank now, BurbankMom.com. How old were your kids when you started that?
Very young. The idea came in 2005 when my first one was born. And gosh, where did that idea come from? I think that I had some bloggers in my life at that time. It was mommy blogging was
huge then.
Right? And there was a woman named Heather Armstrong, and she started Deuce.com, and I was paying attention. Her writing, she writes in prose. I was just obsessed with her writing, and I didn't know you could write the way you speak, which is what she did. And I don't know, I just had an idea. I couldn't find things to do with my kids because it was before Facebook groups.
Yeah.
And so I just was like, why can't I start a blog? Why can I do this? This sounds fun. So I went on GoDaddy and bought BurbankMom.com for I think $11.99. And I've had it since, obviously. Yeah. And so it was just originally started that I could, a place for me to just put stuff where I could find things to do with my kids and share with other parents. And here we are.
And it's grown. It covers travel and Disney and schools. Like you became really into the school system and understanding. People came to you with questions about the schools. You cover entertainment. It's grown so much. How has it been to grow this resource in the city all these years later?
I love it. I love it. It's 100% me and who I am. It started out as the mommy blogging, but it really transferred into like influencer marketing, which didn't exist then, but does now. And just these opportunities started to come available, and I started paying attention to what other people were doing. And I'm from a small town in Burbank. It's always felt like a small town. So to be able to bring people together, because I love people. Everything I do is all about people, and I love it. Writing, networking, participating in events, promoting events, knowing what's going on in my city. I've always loved Burbank for that. So
And you get to do so many fun things. Like I see you going to movie premieres and
Yeah.
all sorts of things. And what has been some of your favorite moments that you've got to be a part of through Burbank
oh
Mom?
my gosh, I honestly, all of them. I have been so blessed to be able to provide restaurant meals. Disneyland would send us to Disneyland and we'd cover new TV show premieres there. I mean, I say it out loud and I'm like, I cannot believe that we got to do all these things. It's really just the experiences I've been able to give my kids because of it. The people we've got to meet, how involved my kids have been in the city and what they know is going on. I don't know. I don't know if anything I'm saying is making sense. There's
You have done so many things over the
everything
years.
about
Like
everything
so
I've been
many.
able to do. Yeah, everything
Yeah.
I've been able to do is I will never take it for granted. It's
Yeah.
just it's awesome. And I get to write, I get to take photos, I get to edit, I get to make video, I get to do all the things that help me be creative as a mom
Mhm.
and stay inside my house, which is really important for me. Because I did come out here, I did have a good job at Hallmark Channel, and I decided to stay home after I had my first baby. So it was important for me to be creative because that's who I
Yeah.
am. So it's a perfect project for me.
That's kind of how I started with Magnolia Park. It was like I had my first baby and I
Yeah.
didn't want to go to a job. And so I
Yeah.
started a blog, which
Yep.
turned into the Magnolia Park Merchants
Yep.
Association and just trickles. And it's amazing what you can do at home when you just put your mind to it
know.
and find resources.
I
And
know, and look what you've done.
I mean,
Holiday in the Park is literally one of my very favorite things about the city. Also, when Burbank on Parade, I remember the first time I saw Burbank on Parade with my little ones on Olive, and we were sitting on the curb, and I was like, I cannot believe we're doing this in California. This is amazing. This makes me feel like I'm home.
yeah.
Um,
There was, Burbank has grown and changed over the years, and it's, becoming, more industrial, and there's more media buildings and things like that. But Burbank on Parade was special to me too. I have this picture of Riley when he was like 2 years old, holding a little American flag and waving it as the parade went by, and I think that's what I loved about Burbank so much is that small town feel in this big city, right?
Yeah.
And you've raised your kids here for so long
Yeah.
in that.
Yes.
But this is a very busy week for you because the Burbank mom is leaving Burbank.
I am.
She's making the trip back home.
I am. We're relocating back to Michigan
Yeah.
after 22 years and nearly 18 years of doing Burbank Mom.
What's going through your? I know this wasn't an easy decision. You've really been invested in this city and this community, so this wasn't a light decision. But what are you looking forward to about this move and being back in Michigan?
Family.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing more important than family. And when you're 20 something and you leave your hometown and have these big dreams, which I do and I still do. You don't think at 20 what it's going to be like to raise your kids thousands of miles away from any family. And, in those 22 years, I've lost a lot of people, including my mom. And I've missed, we as a family, we've missed Thanksgivings and Christmases and birthdays and weddings and funerals and like every event, family gatherings, just all of it for 22 years. And it's just time. It's time to go back home.
Yeah. And you go and visit in the summer, usually, right? You do this big road trip out there, and I see these photos where the kids are just disconnected from everything, and they're outside with their cousins, and they're playing board games by campfires and just out in these big areas. And I mean, I feel like that's all of our dreams right now, is just to like get away from the media, the tech, everything that's around us, and just let them be free and creative. And
it is. It's really special. Our summers in Michigan have been really awesome. So my kids aren't unaware of what they're going back to. They have no idea what a Michigan winter is going to be like. So I'm waiting to see how fast they say we want to move back to California.
And you're going like right before winter is going to hit.
Yeah. It's going to come very soon. Normally it was 60 in Michigan on Christmas. So they had a beautiful sunshiny day for Christmas this year. So winter is coming.
I can't wait to see the photos of their miserable faces in their coats. No,
but it's really, I would encourage anybody, if you can get outside of Los Angeles
Yeah.
for any amount of time, vacation, visit family, just get out of here for a little while,
Yeah.
even when you're coming back, it's special.
Is your family really excited for
Oh,
you?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They've been asking me to come back for a long, long time. And the time's right. And my husband's ready to go, which was really the key factors.
Yeah.
It's a hard place to be right now, just with finances. And he has a long drive to work. And he's been doing that for a long time, supporting us. So, yeah, it's just time.
It's hard to make that jump, right? Like
Mhm.
you're really flipping your whole life upside down. Everything that you've known, that your kids have known, that you've
Mhm.
built your world around. But you are so good at taking chances and trusting God
Yeah.
and praying about
Yep.
this for a long time.
Mhm.
And also just making do with what you have. Like you start small and you can grow things so big.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see what you're going to do
Yeah.
over there. But the reason I wanted you here is because I really wanted to tribute what you've done in Burbank and all the amazing things and
Aw.
so you can look back and see your time here.
Yeah.
So I'd love to hear what your favorite businesses are, what your favorite things about Burbank have been over the 22 years you've been here.
That's a huge question.
Yeah.
There's so much I love about Burbank. It's number one, the people. People make places special. I mean, we've got the mountains and the trees and the weather and all the things, but if you don't have good people in your life and people running the businesses, like, you've got nothing.
Yeah.
So the business owners in Burbank, small business, I always support it the best I can. And I love Burbank because you make a lot of friends and especially with kids in sports. And then doesn't matter what school kids go to, you see each other at Target or Walmart or the grocery store or whatever. But I love, man, we got some great restaurants. We're lucky to have Portos.
Mm-hmm.
I've been eating my checklist this
Making
week.
sure you get it all done.
Making sure I'm
before you
getting all
leave.
done. Next up is Pablitos. So
Yeah.
Pablitos, I'm coming for you. And Dino's. We had Dino's this week. Everything's
All
revolved
the
around
staples.
food.
Yeah, no, I mean, Burbank has some really amazing food.
We do. And Burbank is so close to everything, in my
Yeah.
opinion, that we can just hop over the hill and, have different experiences elsewhere too.
Yeah.
So
I don't ever leave Burbank.
I don't really ever leave Burbank either. I don't need to.
I don't need to. I don't want to.
I don't
No.
know.
Free parking.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, no, but we really are blessed to live in this city because, normally by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, the roads are quiet.
Yeah.
Neighborhoods are quiet. It's a town where people come to work because of the studios. So we get all the fun, awesome things of people and downtown and the media
Mhm.
district and everything. And then it's quiet.
Yeah.
So it is a great place to have a family in Los Angeles. And that's why we chose Burbank all those years ago. So
Yeah. I know your kids are older. I think this is
Yeah.
a good time they're going off to college and things like that. So
Mhm.
you've got such a whole new journey ahead of
yeah.
you.
And I have a daughter in Chicago in college. So moving back home, we're going to be 4 hours from her. And
Yeah, that'd be so nice.
it will. Yeah.
And you've been really close with Unique Vintage over these years. You've
Yes.
been rocking all those dresses all those
Well,
times.
Katie Echeverry, who owns Unique Vintage, is a really close friend of mine. And man, she's amazing. You should have her on this podcast.
Yeah.
Her story is awesome. She inspires me. She's one of my mentors. Katie, if you're listening, I love you. She's very smart, and she's also a female business owner who encourages all other business owners. Like
Mhm.
she's always told me there's room for everyone. There's just room for everyone to do what they need to do. So, focus on your own business, focus on what you want to do. She's taught me a lot.
Yeah,
over the
and
years.
you introduced me to her. We had a Burbank mompreneur meetup once.
We did at
And
her
you,
office.
yeah, you brought us
Mhm.
all there, and she had these little like girl boss buttons, and told us her story and gave us a tour of her incredible
Yeah.
factory where she takes all her photos and things and ships things, and just like to think that that's here in Burbank is
Yeah.
just so incredible.
Yeah.
Like, there's some incredible women here.
There are, yeah, and Carrie, who owns oh my gosh, Romancing the Bean and the New Deal.
And her new one coming up too.
Where?
It's right in between.
Really?
It's like
That's hers.
wine and cheese.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just so inspired by
She
the people in the
is-
city who
yeah.
who create these amazing places for us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have a lot of favorite things in the city, but
And you could probably find it all on BurbankMom.com.
You probably could in my archives.
Yeah.
When my kids were younger, they would allow me to take pictures of them. And we were, so it's changed over the years. And as they've gotten older, it's more been about what I can help promote without my kids being in the picture. So,
do you have a plan for Burbank Mom?
No, but I don't know what to do because I like what it does for the city and what it can provide because I do know people come, but it's also me. And so I don't know, it's also, and it's more than that. So, outside of Facebook and Facebook for the city, Instagram, I have a larger following, and I have on Pinterest, I do really well. And, it's bigger than just Burbank. So I don't know what to do. I have no plans.
To you. Yeah. I think it is you. Yeah. I don't think it could be anybody else but you.
Well, we're all Burbank moms, right? And that's why I started it.
True.
But it has morphed into something where it's not really my identity, but it is something that is part of me. So
we'll just keep an eye and see what pops up.
And if I am planning on showing how this cross country move is going to go, and
it'll be Michigan Mom.
Well, no, I don't. I don't know. Something different has to happen. My kids are too old, and I'm.
I feel like that too. It's like we're not doing the little crafts and the little science experiments and going to the kid zones and the kid space and all these things. And I miss that so much, but we're not in that phase of life anymore. And it's sad. We're in a new phase.
We are.
We have to pass the baton on.
And I'm a little older than you, so I'm even farther ahead. You still have some years with your kids in school, and I'm almost done with that, which is sad to think about and amazing because my kids are awesome and they're going to do great things. But we're headed back to the Great Lakes, and if you've never been,
I have not.
You need to come see me.
Yeah.
My dad has a charter fishing boat on Lake Erie, and I grew up there, and that's how we spend our summer. So we'll
amazing. I will definitely be there in the summer, not the winter.
Not the winter. No, I don't blame you for that.
Well, I want to talk. You've done so many other things other than Burbank Mom, so let's just dive into it.
Okay.
Let's start with something that's pretty incredible called Expressing Motherhood.
Okay. Yeah.
So give us a little rundown of what that project is.
So Expressing Motherhood is and was a live stage show where a girlfriend and I had created. She came to me with this idea because we were both Midwesterners who had moved to LA to be in the industry, and then we had children, and we were like, but we want to be moms, and we both didn't want to leave our kids if we didn't need to, so we created Expressing Motherhood. Her idea, she came to me and she's like, you want to do this? I was like, say less, let's do it, So it was a stage show. We cast real moms on stage to share stories about motherhood. Some of them were hilarious, some were not funny, some were devastating because motherhood is all over the place. And it was really successful. We booked multiple shows in LA, and every show we did was a new cast. And then we went to New York and we went to Chicago. During COVID, I know she did it online. I stepped back at a certain point because I had started a nonprofit, which I'm assuming you're going to ask me about.
I will.
And but it was a way for us to stay creative.
Yeah.
And then and something really special in the middle of that happened where Maria Shriver was coming back to the Today Show, and she had reached out to us, and we were her Mother's Day special reintroduction back to the Today Show, the West Coast, because she was a correspondent for the West Coast. So she came out and set up shop, and it was surreal. It's amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And so you got interviewed by her.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it
what
was
an
awesome.
Experience. And to go to these different states and to bring these stories. Did you speak on the stage as well? Or
I
did you
did.
produce it?
I did the very first show. I wrote a piece about my mom. I had lost her at that point. I'm not sure how many years, but I wore a dress of hers from the 70s. I fit into it then. I do not fit into it now. I bet my 8th grader would. And I just wrote about her hands. My mom was tiny, and she had little hands. And I'm sure it's online somewhere.
Yeah.
But I performed once, and then I was like, no, I'm sorry, I did it twice, and then I was good.
And then you just helped produce the show.
Yeah, I produced the show, and Lindsay directed. Lindsay Cavett, she's amazing.
Wow. And is this still going on now? Is this something that's carrying on?
Yeah, she's been doing supper club kind of things where it's more intimate instead of a large black box theater. which is really great in and of itself. But she's made it, I think during COVID, she transitioned to online shows, and now they're more private supper clubs. So
And you performed here at the Banshee, that was on Magnolia in the
I
corner,
did.
right?
I did. Banshee, and then another one in Hollywood over in the theater district somewhere. We used to go to the Elephant Theater. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, thanks.
So let's talk about your mom for a minute. I know
Yeah.
this is I'm sure it's a hard topic. You lost your mom to cancer, breast cancer, and you started a foundation in her honor, which turned into a 5K and in 2 different states over many years. I mean, just like you just like touch things. It's like Midas, and it's just like gold everywhere.
I don't know about that.
Really?
but-
Yeah. I mean, so you started the SOAR Foundation.
Strength of a Rose. My mom's name was Rose, and roses are very strong flowers. She was super little and very strong. She was a farm girl. And so I started the Strength of a Rose Foundation after she died. And I was in a running group at the time in Griffith Park. I can't run. I tried. But it was a group to keep me active and just to stay active after having my second baby. Called Moms in Motion, and it's not Moms in Motion anymore. But Lucy Murray, she was a parent at, here in Burbank as well. But Lucy was super helpful and inspirational to me and the whole group of women that I was meeting every Saturday morning with while I lost my mom. And when she passed, I just knew I needed to do something. She was so young; she was 54 and beautiful and well loved in her community, and I knew I needed to do something. So because of the running group, I was like, let's do a 5K. And my family was like, whatever, we'll do whatever, So it's been amazing. We just had our 15th run this summer. And
you call it the Rose Run.
The Rose Run. I took an online class about a year in. I took an online class at Glendale College about how to start a 501c3, how to start a nonprofit. So I did that, and I incorporated and did it all legit. And we've been doing it, like I said, 15 years. And I'm not even sure of the exact number we've raised, but
over 15 years, that's a lot.
Yeah. And so we do it in a small farm town, and it's amazing. This town we're moving back to, I planned for 125 people. I was like, okay, if 125 people show up and we charge this much, we can make this much, we can donate this, right? Well, 315 showed up, and I got more sponsors than I anticipated, and we ended up raising $10,000 for charity for that first run.
Wow.
Blew my expectations. I was hoping for 2,000. We got 10. So we've been doing it since, and I did it in Los Angeles for 3 years.
You did it here in Griffith Park?
Yeah. And we raised money for the Disney Family Cancer Center. And Roy Disney came and ran and came up to me one time and shook my hand. He's like, great job, Jessica. And I'm like, hi, who are you? He's like, I'm Roy. And I was like, wow.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah. He had a great time too. Roy, you're a great runner. And anyway, it was just amazing. I had so much support here. I was on the Friends of the Disney Family Cancer Center. I don't think that group's there anymore, but we, the Rose Run helped raise money to help fund one of the 3 new tomography machines at the cancer center.
Wow.
So, and I've used that machine. So
that's incredible.
Yeah.
It's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. And doing a 5K race in Los Angeles is very different than doing it in a small
imagine.
town. And we were able to raise a lot more money here just because of the resources. So,
so you'll continue this moving on when you move back?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll continue. It's a really great event. There's a lot of races that don't survive, and we've made it 15 years.
And you've been producing it from here. You don't go during
right. But I don't do it alone.
Yeah,
I have a solid group of women who help me. My sister, a couple friends, everybody who knew my mom. So it's a small town, and everyone comes together. We have more than enough volunteers every year. It just gets it done.
And what time of year does this usually take place?
July.
Okay.
So every year. We have a weekend in our small town called Community Day, and normally it's centered around like kegs of beer and, just good old fashioned.
How fun.
I know. It's like, it's been around since I was a kid. So I think it's the second weekend in July, the whole weekend is dedicated to celebrating the town. And so I put the Rose Run in the beginning of the Saturday morning. So the Rose Run kicks off that full day. There's a parade at noon. It's like all John Deere tractors. And
Oh my gosh.
it's just amazing, honestly.
I have
Honestly.
chills. I just can't imagine what it's like to be in a town like that where it's
Yeah.
like, sure, you just know everybody.
You do.
And, everyone's got your back, I'm sure. And just
Yeah,
it's a family.
my Burbank high schooler is going to be in for a surprise when he realizes how small his class size is
Yeah.
going from Burbank High to,
Your pool of girls shrinks very soon.
yes.
You have to wait
Yes.
for college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll still do it, of course, and I don't see it ever stopping. The town loves it, and I get
Yeah.
lots of support, and
That's awesome.
yeah.
And something else you've done another tribute to a family member, you're very big on keeping legacy alive, which I love, is you produced or you made a short
Oh
film
yeah. Mm-hmm.
called Laffy Men,
Yeah.
based on your grandfather
Mhm.
in World War II.
Mhm.
Just throwing it out there. 5Ks, nonprofits.
I feel
and
like
films.
I have Project ADD. Like I cannot stay with one thing ever.
Yeah.
I will never be able to do that. I accept that about myself. That's how I was made. I will always be moving from one thing to another.
Yeah.
Laffy Men, my dad, my grandfather, his father was in World War II, and my dad is one of 9 kids. And when it was 2003 or 4, I kind of found out that my grandfather was on the USS Laffy in the Pacific in one of the last great battles in the Pacific before the war ended, and he survived a kamikaze attack on their specific ship that nobody should have survived. So I was like, oh, I'm going to look into this a little bit. I found out there was a book written about it called The Ship That Would Not Die. I got my hands on that book. I started asking my grandpa. He still didn't want to talk about it. A lot of World War II vets didn't want to talk about those things because it was hard. And then there was a reunion for the men who were on that ship who survived in Patriots Point, South Carolina, which is a maritime museum. The ship is actually there. So I was like, well, I'm going to go interview people. So this was before kids. I was able to get a camera.
Yeah.
I was working at Hallmark Channel. I had so many resources to me, so I took advantage of it. Went to South Carolina, interviewed 4 other men who survived that day. Went back to Toledo, Ohio, interviewed my grandfather. I was just going to put like this little video together for my family so they knew what what he went through.
Mhm.
And it ended up becoming a 30-minute short documentary, and I got it professionally voiceover because I was working with voiceover artists at Hallmark Channel. I got a girlfriend to write an original song for it. I found a composer in Los Angeles who was willing to score the whole thing. My neighbor who works in the industry, gave me software. He gave me Final Cut so I could edit the thing. And it got played in the Cleveland International Film Festival and another festival here in Malibu. And
Wow.
the best thing is that we were able to rent a movie theater in Maumee, Ohio, with it's an old theater with a marquee with my grandfather's name on it, and we had a movie premiere for him. I had movie posters made, and he signed movie posters
Oh.
for 2 hours afterwards.
I can't imagine what that must have been like for him.
He got a standing ovation
Oh.
after the film played, and he was speechless.
Yeah.
He's since passed, but our family still has this story.
Yeah, that
Forever.
is so important because I feel like so many stories get lost.
Yeah, they do.
Right? And a lot of people don't have the tools to commemorate those stories. And so it's so incredible that you were able to capture that and turn it into a film nonetheless.
You just got to move with things. You just
know.
put them in motion and see what happens.
You never know who's out there and
No.
who, closed mouth never gets fed, right?
Right.
And so you have to ask and see
You
what
do.
resources are out there.
That is something I've learned. I used to sit back and think, well, if this is good enough that I'm putting out there, then they'll come to me. And that's just not true. You have to ask. The answer will always be no on everything if you don't ask.
Yeah.
Ask for help. I don't know how to do this. Where do I find that? And there's been so many women even in Burbank who have helped me, who are even, ahead of me in certain things, and they've just encouraged me and given me free advice, or how do I do this? What do I do with and then I try to do that for others, like just always pay it forward, because why not?
Like Katie said, there's always room for
There's always
everyone,
room.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's always competition. There always will be. That's what something she always said is there's always competition, but there's room for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep your head down and focus on what you're doing. So
That's incredible. And where can people watch this film if they wanted to watch
it's
it?
on YouTube. I don't
Okay.
know the exact. It's on YouTube. You can. It's just called Laughy Men.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 30-minute short documentary, and it's there. You can watch it.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
You've done so many amazing things, and your time here in Burbank is coming to a close.
Oh my gosh.
Days,
Tomorrow's my last day here.
hours, hours left in Burbank.
I know.
And you have done so many incredible things. The last thing I want to talk about is maybe something that's newer, or maybe it's new to me in the last few years of knowing you, is your DIY skills. This woman, if you go to her TikTok or Instagram, you turn, water into wine.
Aww.
You turn the old, furniture into beautiful new furniture.
Thanks.
You've done your whole house by yourself. You've torn up the floors and everything. Every time I come over, there's a new project, your coffee stand or something. Where did that come from? Is that something you've always been into? Or?
Yeah, I'm from a family of doers.
Mm-hmm.
People, it was actually foreign to me to come to California and realize you can pay someone to do your lawn. Like, and I gave my kids a heads up. I'm like, you guys know we're mowing our own lawns, right? Yeah. Like, we're getting a lawnmower, you're raking leaves, like we're doing the thing. If, this is something we're doing. Yeah, Mom, well, I'll hold them. I'll let you know how they do on that. But, it's interesting. When you come from a large family, somebody always has a skill. So I remember when my dad was building a pole barn when I was a kid. He's got 8 brothers and sisters. Well, one of them's a plumber, one of them's a carpenter. They all come together. They all work together. We show up. If someone needs a new roof on their house, you show up and you do the work and you help each other out. So, I don't know. And my mom was a crafter, more than a crafter, really. She could create a lot of things. And her sisters, very, very crafty.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like to do it. I like the challenge. I actually during COVID, I put new bathroom floors in. I had to tear up linoleum in my kitchen. It turned out to be 4 layers of linoleum. And when I went to the bathroom to put new floors in, the toilet flange it was just I had to fix things. I had no idea.
Yeah.
So
you peel back the onion layers.
Yeah, I did.
You found more things.
But I figured it all out, and there's something in it. Like, if you just go to YouTube, you can learn anything on YouTube, anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have plumber friends, so I'd call a plumber friend, and he's like, do you realize how much money you're saving yourself right now by doing this? I was like, I don't care. And it took me 8 hours to replace this iron toilet flange that I had to drive to like, it doesn't matter. You can do it. Don't be afraid of things. You can put new floors in. You can paint the walls. You can fix the plumbing. You can do the things. Just ask questions and go to YouTube.
Like working with your hands is such like a lost art form, right? Like just this learning a trade, and being able to pass a trade on, I feel like especially when COVID hit, if you didn't know a trade, you were worthless. As an event planner, they're like, we don't really need you right now. I'm like, great, yeah, I know. My husband works on cars, so they needed him. But that was a really eye-opener is if you, like, when the world goes down, you better know how to do stuff.
I do think there's something to be said about those kinds of life skills, like knowing how to fix certain things instead of buying something new, knowing how to, the coffee bar, which is my very favorite thing. It's a 75-year-old kitchen vintage piece that I found on Facebook on the West Side that I built into my dream coffee bar, and I love it. I love it so much. But when you build it with your hands, it means more.
Yeah, you appreciate it more and the effort into it. Well, you have been incredible these years. I don't even know how many years it has been since I guess if I was pregnant.
I don't even know which kid it was.
Yeah, I don't either. 11 years or 15 years.
One or the other.
But you have given me so many years of friendship and mentorship.
You too, Ash.
A shoulder I could lean on. I was sitting by that little window in your kitchen. Hours.
I know. I think our kids have to break us up for talking and visiting.
Yeah. Actually, Tyler would stay there forever.
No, he would.
But I just owe so much to you. I really do, because you have encouraged me in every way. There was job interviews that you pushed me to do that I have these jobs still, and bouncing off all my ideas with you. You have just been like such an inspiration, such a role model to me all over these years. So I'm going to miss you very
Ashley.
much.
I'm going to miss you too.
But I'm a phone call away, although I don't like talking on the phone.
No, you'll have to come see me.
I'll take
We'll take you guys fishing on Lake Erie.
The kids would love that.
Yeah, they would. They would.
Yeah. So is there anything left that you want to say to Burbank or to the families that are raising their kids here in Burbank?
Thank you. Like, I wouldn't have a website if people didn't know, like, and trust me. I mean, that's really important when you're building something. And that's why I've always stayed away from mostly religion and politics on my site, because those can be very divisive, and that's not me. So just thank you, Burbank. This has been awesome. It's very surreal. I know it's the right time. I have so much peace about leaving right now, and the importance of being with family, and live. I mean, if COVID didn't teach us anything, it's like life is so short. Mm-hmm. Do not waste your time not being with the people you love. Do not waste your time not, going forward on projects that you have. Do not waste your time, period. We're not guaranteed today. So, just live and tell people you love them, and show up for people. Put your phones down. Like, seriously, I'm on social media all the time. Mm-hmm. Get off social media. It's from
2 social media experts.
I know.
Get off social media.
My kids will laugh when they to hear me say that. No, it's just live and be with people. People are more important. Restaurants, movie theaters, places, things are going to come and go, but people are really important. So focus on that. And raising kids here without family is doable. I've done it for a very long time. I don't recommend it, but, if we're here because of jobs and, what we have going on, find a tribe, build your village, reach out, ask for help. Don't be alone. A lot of times when I was feeling lonely or isolated, it's because I was isolating, and it's hard. So check in on each other and take care of Burbank, as everybody will. I'm just a person. Like, Burbank's not going to stop because I'm not here, So
but it's a better place because of you.
Oh, thanks, Ash. You too, man. You've done so much. Maybe next time I can come interview you.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Jess.
Thanks,
I'm so excited to see what you do. So follow Burbank Mom on social media. Go to her website. Who knows what she's going to do next? Know. And whatever it is, it's going to be incredible.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys for watching another episode of Women of Burbank. We'll see you next time.
myBurbank Talks would like to thank all of myBurbank's advertisers for their continued support. Burbank Water and Power, Cusimano Real Estate Group, UME Credit Union, Burbank Chamber of Commerce, Gain Credit Union, Providence St. Joseph Medical Center, Community Chevrolet, Media City Credit Union, UCLA Health, Tequila's Burbank, Logix Credit Union, Hill Street Cafe, Bertain Escobar Wealth Management, and the UPS Store on 3rd Street.